What's good, everybody, and welcome into another award-winning episode of your favorite new sports and wrestling show from two of the greatest to ever have done it. It's the Coach and Bro Show. I am the coach. He is Vince Russo. Hello once again, sir.
What is going on, Coach? And Coach, I gotta give a shout out before we start, bro.
To who? To who?
Bro, a couple of weeks ago, man, I had to make an appearance in Queens, New York.
Okay.
And my daughter took me to Citi Field.
Oh.
And I sat among the New York Met fans in Citi Field, bro. I think we were up in the left field corner. And I'm like, Coach, I said something's going on here, bro.
You did.
Something's going on. However, Coach, I will say this, man, because I'm always an honest guy. I really believed those two games, that doubleheader in Atlanta, I thought that was going to hurt them. Because I thought, yeah, bro, they had to tack those extra two games on, getting into the playoffs, and then it was going to mess up the pitching rotation. And I'm like, man, I think those two games are going to kill them. Absolutely not, bro. I mean, I Coach, this is why I love baseball. The regular season means nothing. The 162 games means nothing. All you have to do is get in. And it's that team that's hot. It's that team of destiny. I mean, look at the Phillies again now, bro. This is why I love baseball. They got to the World Series 2 years ago. They can't get back, bro. Now the last 2 years, they can't get back.
They were my squad. I picked them to win it all. I thought they would have that momentum. But we always like to equate things to wrestling, right? And I feel like the Mets, when I describe wrestling and becoming a star, you've got to show up when the lights are the brightest. You know what I mean? And when you talked about this a few weeks ago, I was like, but they're going to need a moment. They're going to need something magical to happen. Not only have they had one, Peter Alonso, welcome to Milwaukee, but how about Francisco Lindor, a grand slam Wednesday night?
Unbelievable.
I mean, these are the things that people remember. They don't remember hitting 300 in 2024. They remember that moment. I've told you the story right here about me and the Fink going to Cardinals Mets all those years ago. I remember that.
Yeah.
This is special.
Yeah.
This is special, Vince. And at one point this year, the Mets were 200-1 to win the World Series.
I think they fell to 11 games under 500, and then since June they've had the best record in baseball. But it's funny now, Coach, because if the Padres get past the Dodgers, I mean, these are really two teams of destiny. Usually you got the one team of destiny in the powerhouse. If San Diego goes over, these are two teams of destiny.
It really is. And who would have thought that the Mets would be the first team of the four series to clinch? And I really thought the Padres needed to get it done Wednesday night. And the Dodgers came out and just pounded them 8-0.
I'm with you.
It's going to be hard for them to do it.
It is.
You're 100% right. And then on the other side, you've got maybe the most boring series in the history of series with Detroit and Cleveland. The Guardians, you and I could hit for the Guardians right now.
Exactly.
0-0.
Yeah.
I mean,
man.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, I know you love it, man. I know you love it. We'll keep up on baseball as we continue on. But I know the Maloik somehow is going to be involved in.
The Maloik
in baseball.
Where is he? Where
right here. Where's your
always at arm's length. Always at arm's length.
Yeah, I feel like Vince that you need to start bringing me on to one of your shows. I feel like I'm being neglected a little bit.
Yeah, time out, Coach. I'm this morning, I'm eating my oatmeal between shows, Coach. I'm eating my oatmeal. I put on my YouTube, and there's Coach all over my YouTube hobnobbing with Chris Van Vliet. And I got a little advice for Chris Van Vliet. Okay, bro? His name is way too hard to pronounce. Bro, Chris needs a gimmick name. And maybe he just uses the gimmick name when he's doing the wrestling part of it, bro. Maybe when he's interviewing De Niro and all the other celebs, he can go. Bro, when he's doing wrestlers, he needs it. I can never pronounce this dude's name. Can you pronounce it, Coach?
Chris Van Vliet. You got to say it slow, though. He likes to go by CVV. That's his brand is CVV.
No, he
Right.
needs a gimmick name. He needs a gimmick name. It's
I'll let him know.
too hard to remember and pronounce.
I tell you what, he is a perfect example of what you and I have to remember, because we've got great brands. We have multiple shows. We're killing it, but we're just getting started with here. And every time I talk to him, it's the third time I've been on his show. And every time I'm on, I don't want to brag, but I'm usually the highest viewed of the month. It's just kind of how it goes. But he's been going for 13 years. And until about a year and a half or 2 years ago, he kind of focused on everything. When he started focusing on wrestling, that's when he took off. He's got 2 pages now that have like 500,000 followers on the interviews. Then he has a clips page, which we will create here at Coach and Bro, over 1 billion views on his clip.
God
Are you
bless
kidding
him,
me?
man. God bless him.
Billion.
Yeah, man.
Billion.
Bro, you know what it is, especially in the wrestling business, and bro, you and I got to deal with all these mark shows and all this crap. Bro, here's the bottom line. He's a likable guy.
He is.
He's you watch him and you're like, bro, this guy's real. This is a likable guy. That's where the success comes from.
It is. And when you meet him, and he literally, and this is where even though the marks don't believe this, and now that I've gotten to know you very, very well, I think at your core, you're this way. I'm at a point in my life, in my career, I just want to help. I just want to give good takes. I want to have a positivity about me, whether it is what we're talking about, but also he's also honest.
Yeah.
And I think when you try to do all that with what we do, Vince, it's hard sometimes because we got to look at something. We got to say, you know what, that's not good.
Yeah.
And in his world, I learn a lot from him. I learn a lot from branding and how you build it. So shout out to Chris. And if anybody hasn't checked out my interview, please go and do that. You can see it at my, I've got it all over my socials as well. All right, let's get into it, because this is a sports part of the show. But then we also have a wrestling portion of the show that if you're not a member of our Patreon at Backstage Pass, I encourage you to do that. We had a short this week. Speaking of big time views, we were talking about Crown Jewel and certain performers and the fact that they're not very good sometimes. Almost 300,000 views just on Facebook.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
We're happening, Coach. We're happening, Coach.
We're a vibe. That's what
I had a laugh though with the Chris the Crippler Van Vliet. I had a laugh, bro, and you said at one point, because I watched a bunch of the clips. You said at one point, well, bro, you know what, we talk about the negative, but we also talk about the positive. And I swear to God, I had to sit there for a second and say, Coach, what positive? I would love, bro. You know who my 2 positives are? I swear to God, I got one for AEW, one for WWE. These are my 2 positives. WWE, it's Chelsea Green. And I got to be careful because Matt Cardona is going to think I have something for his wife as much as I put her over. I don't have anything for her, bro. She's phenomenal. She gets it. She's funny. She's phenomenal. And it's funny, Coach, because when we look at the other show, we got Toni Storm. To me, it's 2 females that are stealing the shows.
And where are they stealing the shows? I talk to my team all the time about this, and I think it's a great topic. They're not stealing the shows on the show. They're using social media to then be in it. Like Chelsea Green, when she posts all those videos where she'll stop the talent walking through, it gives her the rub. And then she always makes herself look a little silly. And to me, when you can kind of make fun of yourself. And then I saw an interview with Toni Storm's husband. I didn't even know she was married.
Oh, I didn't see this one. I didn't see this.
He literally, they asked, what's she like in real life? And he said, she's crazier than she is on the show. And I was like, oh my God. How can you be crazier? But she gets it. And whether some of the stuff's a little cringy, but sometimes cringe is good. If it's done correctly, you know?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
They get it. They get it, man.
I can't believe, by the way, speaking of Matt Cardona, we're going to have to get this guy here on our show. This is coming out of left field. I haven't even talked to you about this. So do you know that he is a star in a thing called, I want to make sure I get the name right, Wrestling the Musical. It came out this year. It's sold out on Broadway. They're now taking it to Las Vegas. Yesterday, I kid you not, on my kids, I got connected with the creator of Wrestling the Musical. And he's like, he wants me to be a consultant on the show. He wants to take it all over the world. He's got big plans. They're going to take it to Vegas. First week will be right before WrestleMania. And I said, well, who are the stars of the show? He goes, Matt Cardona. I said, a musical with Matt Cardona? He said, Coach, he kills it. And he said that Chelsea Green, his wife, is the one that pushed him into doing it.
Wow.
And then his co-lead character is this really well-known guy on Broadway and they do real bumps. They have a real ring.
Yeah.
And they had to protect this guy, he was telling me. We were on the phone for over an hour, and it was fascinating. I would love to get him on the Coach and Bro show.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Let's get him on here, man.
That's weird, right? It's weird, but it got to make sense.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. He's done a phenomenal job with his career, man. Phenomenal.
Should I start introducing myself as a consultant on Wrestling the Musical?
Bro, if you started introducing yourself with all your titles, Coach, that would be the first 40 minutes of the show, bro. with all due respect, Coach. With all due respect.
I'm trying to make something stick. We've got so many things. I'm telling you what. That first of the year, me and you are going to go to the moon because we have 8,000 different things going on. I can't even talk about some of them right now. Can't even talk about them. But, man, I tell you what, all kidding aside, this right here, 3 months ago, barely knew you. I'm having the time of my life working with you. All kidding aside, I love it. And
I do too, Coach. I appreciate being a part of your brand. It really, really does mean a lot to me, man.
Awesome. That means a lot to me too. Let's get into it because we talk about everything, not just wrestling here. We'll get to that. We've got Thursday Night Football, and we have a very unique way of doing it. I bring the betting, and then my man Vince brings the fan perspective, just like you at home. And Vince, we've got two teams. They've got to bounce back from a big loss. Seattle, they lost the Intercontinental title on Sunday. The 49ers, they lost the tag team titles on Sunday in dramatic fashion. You've got the 49ers there by 10. They were one of my best bets last week. Up 10, laying a touchdown, and then they let Kyler Murray score 11 in the fourth to lose at home. And then Seattle lining up for a game-tying field goal, and they get it blocked by the New York Giants. They take it back to the house, and that's how both games basically end. And now, tonight, they meet on Thursday Night Football. When you were doing your fan handicapping, where did you go?
I went to a couple of things, Coach. First of all, the 49ers have beat the Seahawks the last 5 times out.
Yes, sir.
So they've owned them. Also, mirror that with the Niners losing 3 out of their last 4. Bro, I can't imagine sitting here after this game saying the Niners have lost 4 out of their last 5. I can't imagine that. I also know, bro, the Seahawks, from my research, Coach, have struggled heavily against the run. And we've got Jordan Mason for the Niners averaging 107 rushing yards per game, 536 yards this season, 5.1 yards per carry. So I think that running game, bro, is going to open it up a little bit for the 49ers. Then Purdy will start throwing the ball around. And I am giving a 3.5 points, bro, and taking the Niners.
Wow. Our first play of the day. The hook doesn't even scare you. You're like, I'll lay the hook. They're going to win by a lot.
Yeah.
They're going to win by a lot. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to give my pick in about 15 minutes, but I'm going to so let's put one in the check in that column for Vince. He likes the 49ers.
Yeah.
I may also lean that way. I'll reveal that. But there's a lot of people out there, Vince, that like props. And you mentioned Mason. He wasn't even a guy that they were talking about at the beginning of the year, but then Debo goes down. Kittle goes down. CMC. That's the reason Mason's in the game. And it feels like to me, the guy that got the biggest, he's making $17 million a year. Running backs, like a big one, 12, 13 these days. He got 17. And now all of a sudden he's spending his days in Germany with that stuff that all the wrestlers go over to get that's illegal here. Tiger Woods got it. And if you're doing that, doesn't that scream, I'm really scared for my knee and my future?
Absolutely, man.
Right?
That's what it tells me, man. Yes. Yep.
Wow. So CMC, you guys better hope the Mason continues on. His number tonight, by the way, is around 82.5 if you wanted to play his over or under there.
Well, what are you playing there, Coach?
Well, I'm going to reveal that
Are you
in our
going to give me? So you'll give me that prop later on too.
100%. I just wanted to throw
Beautiful.
it out
Okay.
there.
I like it.
Wanted to
I
throw
like
out
it.
there. All right. So we'll get back to Thursday Night Football in a second. But there's some other games we got to look forward to on Sunday, Vince. And we're starting to get to that point in the season where there's like the haves and the have-nots.
Yeah.
And the Beltway, I don't even know what they call it, but it's like the Baltimore when they get to play Washington. They play each other this week.
Yeah.
And Jaden Daniels, who we've raved about here, he's now the guy in the NFC East. It's not the Cowboys anymore. It's not the Eagles. It's certainly not the Giants. It's the Washington Commanders and this rookie sensation. But Lamar Jackson says, hold the phone. Hold the phone. I'm an MVP. There's people talking about him being the MVP this year. So I love the fact the number is 6. I love the fact that they're meeting each other right now in week 6. And I want to see how this rookie kind of takes this matchup, don't you?
I do, Coach. I'm gonna bet. Do we give our picks here or no?
I mean, you can, and then I'll review them in our little 5 minutes.
I'm gonna bail out with the points though. Here's what I'm looking at.
You're gonna take the points.
No, I'm not gonna touch. I'm not gonna touch the line.
Oh, what are you touching?
I'm touching the over.
Interesting.
These are the top 2 offenses in the NFL, bro. I think this is going to be a shootout. Right now, the over is 52.5, Coach. Coach, I'm going with the over. Minus 105, I'm going with the over. I think there's going to be a lot of points put up the board in this one.
All right, so far, Vince is on the 49ers, and we'll recap this. Don't even worry about it. And the Ravens Commanders over, and that game is in Baltimore, which I think is a much faster track. Have you ever been to a game in Washington, by the way?
I have not, no.
Oh, my God. Don't. It's literally like a stadium in a neighborhood. Like, you're driving around the Beltway, which is like the big highway around the city. You get off and you drive past Popeyes, and then there's a Kentucky Fried Chicken, and then there's a horrible Hardee's, like all these awful restaurants. And all of a sudden, then there's a stadium, and there's very little parking, and it's a really slow track. I don't like it. I don't like it. But, man, do I love this team. And I think I love where you're going. Whenever in primetime games, it's been about the dog. The dogs have been barking big time.
Yeah.
But this is a 1 o'clock game.
Yeah.
This is not a primetime game.
Yeah.
So I like where your head's at.
And Coach, also let's give you props, bro, because Thursday night, you gave the points with the Chiefs, and you were a winner. You were a winner. I didn't like the spread, bro. I didn't want to give the points. I was being stingy. Coach gave the points, and you were a big winner Thursday night, Coach.
Well, I was, and actually, I know your days get lost. It was actually Monday Night Football.
Was it Monday night?
That's
yeah,
okay.
Monday.
That's okay. You got a lot going on, Vince. You got a lot going on, and I was thinking about this. Because as we look through, there's only 2 undefeated teams left, and it's the Vikings in the NFC and it's the Chiefs.
Right.
Do you not think that Patrick Mahomes probably has the best life of any athlete going right now?
Yeah. Why do you say that, Coach? Why do you
say that? Well, he's got another baby coming, so he's putting together the Mahomes Christmas card. Right. He's going to have those 3 kids. His wife has calmed down just a little bit. I'm sure you saw the picture of his wife with the baby bump, and there's Taylor Swift on the right. And then you had somebody on the left, and they're rubbing the baby bump. And I'm like, wow. And this guy's like Teflon. They were in the political realm. Nobody's criticized him. They criticized his wife, but not him. And he makes north of $50 million on the field. He's the highest paid endorser in sports right now. He's in every commercial. I would guesstimate, and nobody knows his exact contract, but they're guesstimating $30 to $50 million a year off the field. So you put that together, you're talking Tiger Woods-esque at $90 to $100 million a year, living in Kansas City. In Kansas City. Give me a TO, baby. What do you got a timeout for?
Well, you got to be careful, Coach, because you just mentioned Tiger Woods. So when you're Patrick Mahomes and you got all this going for you, bro, what do they usually try to do with people like that, Coach?
Bring them down.
They love that when it gets to be too much, bro. That you got to be careful with that, bro, especially in pro sports, man.
You know what he does though? That's a little bit different. And this is when I started my career, I covered the Chiefs for just a year before I got WWE. And the difference between NFL and Major League Baseball, and I saw it with my own two eyes. I won't say names, but the NFL, you fly out Saturday. You're not allowed to have anybody in your room Saturday night.
Right. Yeah.
You play Sunday, and then you're right back on the plane back home. So the travel's very minimal, right? In baseball, you're going in for a 3-game set. I partied with many baseball players in my time that would party, and this is a great story. Do you remember the Twins back in the day? Do you remember Torrey Hunter?
Oh, yeah.
And then they had a left-handed pitcher. I think it was J.C. Romero, I think was his name. But we were in town for Monday Night Raw, Vince. And there was also guys on the Angels broadcast out here. I can't remember. Denny Hawking was his name. So we were all friends, and we're hanging out. And so they come to the bar. We're after Raw. They're playing the Indians. So they come, and J.C. Romero is the starter the next day. Okay? Now, we're driving from Minnesota to North Dakota for SmackDown. They have a day game the next day. So we close the bar down. It's J.C. Romero's birthday. It's shot after shot after shot after shot, and we're carrying him out of the bar. Me, Kevin Kelly, Michael Cole, I believe was the three of us in the car. Can't remember exactly, but I know Kevin Kelly was there. And we're driving the next day, and this is back in the days of having a bookie, calling it in, twice a day. There's no online stuff, you know what I mean? So we're sitting there, we're like, man, he's the starting pitcher. 8 hours ago or 7 hours ago, we're carrying him out of a bar. We better bet on the Indians tonight. So
now, wait a minute, Coach. Isn't that inside betting, Coach? That's inside betting, Coach.
Well, I mean, if you want to look at it that way, but it was information that was mine. Right. It was mine. And it was 20 years ago. He hasn't played for 20 years. I'm sure we'll be fine.
Bro, tell me he threw a complete game shutout.
No, he did exactly what we thought he would do. But here's the part that I feel bad about.
Right.
It wasn't the winning the bet that when we each put. I remember exactly the amount. It was $500 on each, so it was $1,500, and we were like $100 bettors. You know what I mean? Right. So that was big for us.
Right.
He gave up 7 runs in the first 2 innings, got yanked. Guess what happened to him after the game, Vince?
Oh, he didn't get sent down, did he? No, oh my God. So you killed this guy's career. You had something to do with killing this dude. Yeah. I killed an entire wrestling company. You killed a professional athlete's career.
Yeah, I don't know which is a bigger story.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot we got in common. We got in common.
We do. Yeah. You've had to carry. We both had to carry that around for 20 years. I'm glad I got that off my chest.
That is great.
All true story.
Great. Yeah.
True story. And by the way, speaking of Torrey Hunter, everybody thinks that all these big contracts are done, big up in the top levels of all these big buildings. Do you know when Torrey Hunter signed for $90 million to come play for the Angels? Do you know that he signed his deal on a fast food restaurant along I-5 between L.A. and Fresno somewhere? That's a true story.
Yeah, I was gonna guess Chili's. I was gonna say Chili's, but it was a fast food restaurant.
It was like, you stop, you pull in, and they have the restaurants where both sides of the highway can pull in.
Yeah.
That's where he signed.
Unbelievable. Great story. Great story.
We got a lot of them. We'll tell them right here.
You're hobnobbing with the big. So what about me, Coach? When am I getting brought in on those relays? What about me? Coach?
If you play your cards right, I will bring you in moving forward. Okay. Is that fair?
I mean, what am I doing for the coach later today? Who's coach coming on with later today?
Well, I have been so honored that I will be on with you and Stevie Richards, I believe.
No, Stevie Ray.
Stevie Ray. Damn,
and I haven't smartened him up. I told him I got a guest. I'm going to
be on the Black and White show.
The Black and White?
And he doesn't know.
Yeah, and he's trying to get the name out of me, and I'm like, kayfabe, it's going to be a surprise. You won't be disappointed.
Well, right now, today specifically, I'm kind of a big deal, so hopefully he'll be happy.
And guess what he wants to talk about? This is why I wanted to bring you on.
What does he want to talk about?
Triple H's comments.
Oh, stepping in it?
Yes. Yes. He's got a lot to say about that, Stevie.
I can't wait to hear it. I can't wait to comment on it. And I'm telling you right now out there, everybody avoids these topics, and I don't know why. As adults, we've got to be able to talk about them.
Yeah.
You can't avoid it all the time. And it's an issue. It's an issue around wrestling and around media networks, around a lot of places.
Yes.
It really is.
Yeah.
Well, I'm honored that you asked, and I can't wait to have that discussion.
It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be awesome. Speaking of black quarterbacks, Cardinals and the Packers.
Kyler Murray, bro. Kyler Murray.
Now you tell me this. When I watch him, and I was shocked last week because he's the type of dude. And by the way, did you know that he's an endorser for apparently the new Call of Duty video game?
I did not know that. No.
You know, he got so much flack for instead of studying his playbook a couple of years ago, then they give him $200 million, and he's like, I'm busy right now. I'll get to you. I'm busy playing Call of Duty with my 14-year-old friends in Seattle. And
now, have you ever played Call of Duty, Coach?
This is a true story.
Okay.
I have played.
You play with Torrey Hunter, Call of Duty.
No.
But
when my son was 7 or 6, and we had been divorced for a little while. He's 14 now, so I can tell it without his mother getting angry. And so we're buying all these video games. I'm like, Call of Duty can't be that bad, right? It can't be. It's rated that for a reason. We put the game in, and we're playing it, I kid you not, Vince, for probably 45 seconds. And this dude jumps out of a helicopter, walks around the corner, and slices the head off of a dude. I'm like, no! I literally scrambling to turn it off. It was horrible.
Coach, that happened to me just the other day because, my kids are grown now. I mean, my oldest son, Will, is 36. They're grown adults. My youngest son is 32. They're grown adults. But, Coach, the other day, I was at a thrift store. I'm old school, Coach. I wanted a CD for the car. I got a CD player. I don't do the Bluetooth. I'm old school, right?
I know that.
So there was, you know what, bro, Coach? I came across the Eminem show. The Eminem show. And I'm like, bro, this was a pretty popular album. I remember my kids were very young when it came out. And I'm like, I remember they loved this album. They played it over and over again. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to throw some Eminem on. Bro, the freaking lyrics. Bro, when my kids bought that CD, they were probably about 7 and 5. And 5, Coach. And I let them listen, and I'm listening to this in the car, and I'm like, oh, my God, I'm the worst father on the planet, bro.
Is there nothing more fun, though, than listening to a kid swear? Let's be honest. Listening to a kid swear is the greatest. And on Instagram will send you stuff because of your algorithm on what you watch.
Yeah.
Have you seen the one? There's one that has like 8 different kids using 8 different swear words, and I literally watched it 1,000 times. But there's one little girl from England who's got the accent, and she goes, "Mom, and she says the actual word. She goes, "There's an effing goat outside." And I'm like, "No, it's just a goat." She goes, "No, it's an effing goat. There's an effing goat." Oh my gosh! And then have you seen the one that they'll tag with? I don't want to insult anybody, but it'll be something that's not believable. Let's say that. And then there's a kid in his car seat in the back that says BS, and he says the word BS. Yeah. And so they'll do whatever the unbelievable thing is, and then they'll tag that. They'll put that at the end of the video.
Oh, they should put that at the end of the Kevin Owens, Cody Rhodes in the parking lot video, bro. Did they use it for that one?
I've heard, by the way, that WWE production was not made aware of that particular thing, so that it could be shot in a way like with fans and so that. Did you read that?
No, bro. Yeah. But please,
can you imagine Kevin Dunn being in the truck and they're like, "Hey, Cody and Kevin Owens are fighting." Where nobody told me. How would that have gone over with Kevin Dunn?
Yeah.
That wouldn't have gone over.
No, or Vince. Or Vince.
Or Vince.
Yeah.
No cameras there, no whatever. Yeah. Okay. All right, we still have plenty more to come. Don't forget, subscribe to our Patreon, Backstage Pass. We've got a lot more wrestling content there. This is just fun. This is sports. This is where we're at. So we got to give you a couple of minutes of our picks. So, Vince, you've already given you the 49ers 3 in the hook. I agree with you on that one. You've given me the Ravens over, depending on the book you use. It's 52.5. Some places it's 51.5. I don't think that 1 point's going to matter. I agree with you there. So give me 2 more. Cardinals and the Packers. They're around 5 or 47.5, 48. What do you like in that game?
I think 5 points. Are we going on the 5 points, Coach? Because I couldn't get the DraftKings. Are we going on +5 for the Cardinals?
Yeah, I looked it up at another book. DraftKings have been shut down. Thank you, DraftKings. Yeah. Let's go with 5. Let's go with 5. That's a consensus.
I think that's too much. I think that's too much, bro. I think this is a field goal game. I'm taking the Cardinals. I'm taking the points.
Man, we're in a lot of agreement. Jordan Love makes a lot of mistakes. As much as I love him, he makes a lot of mistakes. And to give Kyler Murray 5 after beating the 49ers, the only hesitation I have is 2 straight road games. They had to go to San Francisco, back home, and now to Green Bay, but should not be an issue. And the last game, and whether you want to say Commanders-Ravens the biggest game or the Lions-Cowboys, this is a big one. And when Detroit goes on the road and they're a favorite by a field goal, if I'm Dallas, I'm embarrassed. It should be pick 'em at worst. It's not. The Lions go in, and there's all these little nuggets and numbers about teams after they play Detroit because they're so physical, and Dan Campbell is such a badass as a coach. So laying the 3 or around 52 is the total. What do you like there?
Well, now, Coach, I'm going back to this is Lions are looking for a revenge win, huh? Based on the playoffs last year,
100%.
So we've got that.
Well. Technically, no. The Packers blew out the Cowboys last year. The Lions lost to the 49ers. It's easy to forget that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But there's still a lot of revenge for the disrespect.
Yeah, exactly. But the Lions bye week, bro. So they're well rested.
Mm-hmm.
God, bro, Dallas being the underdogs at home, but then again, I'm gonna bail out, Coach. I'm gonna bail out because I'm going over 52. I'm going with the over on this one too.
The reason I don't like that
is
because Detroit, when they get ahead, they are the best at just sucking the life out of a game. They've got 2 great running backs.
Yeah.
Mamby-pamby
it. Once they get the lead, Coach, they mamby-pamby it.
They 100% do. Now, where I would bitch if I was them is so I'm going to take Detroit and lay the 3. I think they're way too physical, and the Cowboys can't stop anybody. I think it's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be 31-10, something like that.
Right.
But Vince, do you think it's fair in the NFL to give a team a bye week in the 4th week, and then some teams don't have their bye week till week 10, week 11, week 12? This is the National Football League. I mean, to me, it's so unfair because now the Lions have to play week 6 through week 18 with no bye.
How did they determine that, Coach? Do you know?
It's random, but it's also teams that play overseas get to pick their buys.
Okay.
It plays into the scheduling of everything.
But that definitely can have a big influence on the team and the schedule. Absolutely.
Yeah. I would not be happy about it because right now you're still relatively fresh or fresher than you will be, at Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take the Lions. So we agree on a lot. If you want more of our fire picks, tune in every single Monday and Thursday. We drop around 7 p.m. Eastern time. You can watch on demand on our YouTube page at sportskita.com.